to listen deeply for our wisdom and to help others to find their wisdom, we need silence. But how comfortable are you with silence? Have you noticed that society says you can't just sit with a friend or a loved one and be quiet? There's this unspoken pressure to fill the gaps, fill the silence, awkward silence. You can almost feel it. Have you ever felt awkward silence before? It's very tangible, isn't it? And when we have a moment of solitude and we fill it with radio, television, music, internet, browsing. But what if silence is more delicious than pudding, than dessert, What if silence helps us to build our wisdom wells, to send that bucket deeper than the surface mind, to find our inner teacher, to find clear seeing, clear being? What if silence is one of the most precious gifts? Maybe you've noticed that too. I find that in order to access wisdom and to invite silence, in order to do that, it's helpful to recognize that silence, this kind of silence that I'm talking about, is not opposed to noise. This silence includes all the noises, the inner noise of thoughts and chatter and emotions, and the outer noises of that noisy sound that came to interrupt our meditation. Yes, this silence includes noise. So it's helpful to actively, consciously say the noises are welcome, right? That doesn't mean we go and add to the noise necessarily, because sometimes it's lovely to turn off the TV and the radio and to just sit in nature listening to birds, and it's nice to just be quiet ourselves, to not hear our own voice. I get so tired of my own voice, don't you? Maybe it's just me. Include the noise. That's number one. Number two, tune in to the silence. Tune into the silence that's underneath all the noise. Now, even if your surface mind is saying, I don't know what that means, that sounds like really bizarre, how am I supposed to do that? Here's the awesome thing about your natural intuition. Intuition is guided by intention. Intention is a silent decision. It's the decision we make quietly inside. That quiet decision, that intention, if you intend, I want to tune in to silence. I want to connect with silence. I want to sense, feel like a radio station that's been changed, like a dial that's been turned. I'm going to tune in to silence. I'm going to notice silence. I'm going to connect to silence. That intention is going to set it up. That's how awesome natural intuition is. You might not know that that's how it works. But anything you set your attention on, guided by intention, you're tuned into. So we're just paying attention to silence, and we're setting an intention, even if the mind doesn't know what we're doing. It's okay, mind. You carry on. I'm just gonna be curious, be interested. Maybe this is the silence. It feels like maybe presence. It feels like peace a little bit, perhaps, or a lot. Silence. What a relief to not have to make your mind quiet. What a relief to not force the quiet. What a relief. Just to tune in, to include the noise and to tune in to silence. And then, not out of discipline, not out of any have to, should, just discovering, teaching your body, your mind, your heart to enjoy silence, not in a forced way, just to discover, wow, silence feels pretty amazing. This silence that's behind all noise, this silence that I can tune into, this silence that allows me to listen deeply, to build my wisdom well wherever I am, no matter what I'm doing. It's definitely better than desserts. I had to check for a moment. Were there some desserts better? Because it's pretty close. It's pretty close. Some desserts are right up there. But the longer you hang out with the silence, the more you tune into it. Just even to give yourself rest. And also to build your well. And then if you're coaching others, don't be afraid of silence. Present, engaged, warm silence. It's an amazing gift, and it's also a master coaching offering. The magic is not always in the words. The power is not always in the words. There is a lot going on that's got nothing to do with what we say, that's carried through presence. And there's nothing quite like silence to deliver the songs of wisdom. So use silence to listen deeply.